just gathering place of Earth energies.
The concept of ley lines originated in the 1920s with English landscape photographer Alfred Watkins. While researching his book, The Old Straight Track, Watkins made the curious discovery that many of the prehistoric standing stones and significant ancient sites of England and France line up in perfectly straight lines. And many of these sites that these lines pass through have names that contain the letters L-E-Y, like Leyland, Keighley, and Audley.
Ley lines are an alignment of ancient sites, 4 or more of them over any distance, and these stretch around the world in some cases, and these are often associated with the same sites on these straight line alignments. So there's a whole network around the planet, lots of different types, some linked with the magnetic field, others linked with underground water and natural energies that move through the land.
One of the most significant ley lines that has been identified is the St. Michael Line. Starting from Skelling Michael in Ireland, the 7 major sites that lie along this line each have a church dedicated to the Archangel Michael, all the way down to the Stella Maris Monastery in Israel. And incredibly, there is no record of the people who lived in these separate locations having coordinated this. One of the sites the St. Michael Line passes through is Mount Busenay.
We've got this straight line of all these sites, and not just any old sites, power sites. The ancients believed that certain parts of the world were blessed with power, energy, that Musini is slap bang on that line.
Is it possible that ancient people were aware of energy emanating from the earth and were drawn to the area of Mount Busenay and the Susa Valley more than 2,000 years ago? And could these earth energies also be responsible for the many strange events that have been documented in this area? Local legends passed down from ancient times tell about this mountain being home to werewolves and wizards. It was rumored that the dragon brought in an enchanted
government and maybe others know that there's something going on.
What can explain the strange incidents that have been continuously reported at Mount Musude for hundreds of years? Is it possible, as ancient astronaut theorists suggest, that extraterrestrials are drawn to this particular place on Earth?
This light phenomenon and unusual activity on Mount Musude has been going on for thousands of years and continues to this day.
The challenge really is to find the connection, to draw together the disparate threads of this story and say, what is it about this area that's so special?
Perhaps further clues can be found by investigating the strange rock carvings found in the area. Carvings that appear to be depictions of astronauts. Val Camonica, Italy. June 13th, 2019. Ancient astronaut theorist William Henry has traveled to this UNESCO World Heritage Site, 165 miles from Mount Musude, to investigate what he believes could be forensic evidence that the early civilizations of this region came into contact with extraterrestrials.
Hi, I'm William. Hi, I'm Luca. Nice to meet you.
Joining him is Luca Giarelli, the head of the Val Camonica Historical and Anthropological Society. Luca has spent years studying this mysterious region of northern Italy and wants to show William the rock carvings for which this alpine valley is famous.
This place is massive.
Yeah, it's very big and the rock art covers all that area. Are you ready for a hike?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm here at Val Camonica because it is a treasure trove of images from the ancient world that have been well documented, studied by scholars. They don't agree on the meaning of the images, but some of them are very open-minded to the ancient astronaut theory.
This is one of the rock art site here in Camonica. Footprints there. You can see here. Deer. Warriors.
Look at this. Incredible.
Thousands of figures on the rocks. Here we have what we have. Well, this one, this figure,
Oh, look at that.
the spaceman.
Spaceman. Exactly. Look at the helmet.
Look at the helmet.
Right. It's like he's glowing.
Yeah.
这是臭鸡巴鱼。
And the communion ropes.
The communion robes.
It's a strange, mysterious symbol with 9 dots. It was made probably on the first millennium before Christ. We have 19 communion rooms in Camonica.
19 communion robes.
Archaeologists call this mysterious object the Communion Rose because of its flower-like shape. While its exact meaning is lost to history, some believe it to be a religious symbol or a representation of the movement of the stars. But ancient astronaut theorists suggest it might also depict something else, the vessel that brought these helmeted figures to Val Camonica.
Look at that. That looks like a spaceship. It's like you'd look up in the sky and you would see this kind of twirling, spinning ship in the sky. It seems to me, just looking at it, they're trying to talk about beings coming from other worlds, maybe to this place.
It could be an interpretation.
Tell me about that five-pointed star.
We have a lot of 5-point stars here on this rock, but we don't know what they mean when they did this particular geometric shape.
Sometimes the stars mean energy, like energy from the stars would come to this place, or star beings would come to this place.
Yeah, it could be an interpretation. We have a lot of mystery about the meaning of the engraved here in Camonica. We have a different motivation, religious, mythological, and also describing events.
Okay.
So
So this is like a newspaper then. It says this was in the sky above us at some point, and this spaceman came down and maybe met the Communion people.
It could be.
According to the ancient stories of the Susa Valley, the city of Turin was founded by a character from Greek mythology called Phaeton, who came to Earth from the stars.
Legend states that Turin was founded by the god Phaeton, who is a son of the sun god Helios, and in the myth of Phaeton, we learn the story of how he descended to Earth in a fiery chariot, perhaps crashing into Mount Mussini.
This also led to something fortuitous because he brought gifts to this place. He had great skills, was a metallurgist, and taught this to the local people.
When we look at myths such as the myth of Phaeton, here is really the story of a UFO landing on a mountain and interacting with the locals.
When we look behind this myth of Phaeton, perhaps this is what we're also seeing at Valcamonica. I think given the connection with the spacemen that are etched into the rock, that we have to be open to the possibility that what the ancient artist is trying to portray is something that he actually saw in the sky, something coming out of the heavens.
Is there a connection between the stone carvings found at Valcamonica and the story of Phaeton's descent from the sky? And do other clues exist here that point to ancient alien contact?
Were there any other cultures that were connected with the valley?
We found some engravings that represent god of Celtic religion.
What sort of engravings?
You know Canonos? It's
Oh, the horned god. Yeah. Right.
the horn god. And we find the same figure here in Vancouver.
That means the Celts were here.
Yeah, there were a connection.
So, is this the only location where we see the spaceman?
No, we have two locations. This is one, but we can find another astronaut out of the path.
Even deeper into the woods?
Yeah, we can go there if you want.
I'd love to go.
Let's go.
Luca guides William up a steep portion of the valley